effect today.
There we go. I got us live before they cut us off.
Whoa, there we go.
How the fuck are you?
How do you think I am, man? I'm fucking great.
I would like to congratulate Mark Lobliner on being the newest IFBB pro, seeing as how none of the fucking bodybuilding news channels act like you fucking exist.
Well, you know what? That's all good with me, man.
Fuck all these motherfuckers. Like, I mean, as a serious note, like, I'm just going to start this off, like, very, very, very realistic. And Mark doesn't know what I'm about to say because we don't actually fucking plan this shit out. But
what's going on?
As a heads up to you motherfuckers out there in YouTube fitness land, you bitches. Like, I understand you guys want to fucking pretend as if YouTube fame is the most important thing in the fucking world and shit like that. And somehow or another that, you know, Mark is somehow a shill and not important. He is one of 1,000, like around 1,000 IFBB pro bodybuilders that is, and somehow or another can be completely ignored by the bodybuilding channels. Fuck all you motherfuckers. Most pro bodybuilders, that's all the fuck they do. That is the entirety of their fucking job. This man coaches young fucking kids, is one of the best fathers I've ever fucking seen, and literally helps out so many people, myself included, to, you know, look out for our families and put food on the fucking table. You know, all you motherfuckers can fuck off. Like, I mean, I try to stay out of the YouTube shit anymore because it's irrelevant. Because these people don't fucking, they don't want to acknowledge that the world has fucking changed. And this is just another fucking showing of it. If you're towing the line with the point where it can't even be, if you're a bodybuilding channel, and Nick, I am talking to you, you fucking punk ass bitch. If you cannot acknowledge somehow that this motherfucker pulled off what most other people in bodybuilding could not possibly fucking do. If you guys would have known his true fucking schedule for the last 6 fucking months, what he pulled off is fucking amazing. Like, for real, fucking amazing. And I'm not saying this because he's just my business partner. He is one of my very best friends in the fucking world. He's probably my best friend compared next to my wife and my son. But reality, compare it to anybody else. His schedule, what he does for everybody else, fucking charity money he's fucking raised in the last 6 fucking months, and somehow or another it's going to be ignored by all you bitches. You bitches are just that, bitches. And I mean, he didn't, and I'm sorry if that fucking leads us off topic, but for real, it's kind of ridiculous. If you plot yourself as a news channel for a specific genre of sport, and you want to ignore a complete sector of that sport because it's associated with people that aren't directly related to you because of your sponsorship, you are not a news channel, you're just a fucking bitch to them. I mean, that's the fucking real. We literally threw a fucking $50,000 charity event to raise fucking charity money for kids with fucking cancer in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. All the hate and everything like that was fucking taken, and that shit was ignored. Like, literally 2 fucking Mr. Olympias, Mark's there, a bunch of other fucking people were there in the bodybuilding realm, and it was not even fucking discussed because of the fact that, like, Mark is his own entity when it comes to the supplement world. You're not a news channel. You're just sucking on the dick of a certain fucking of a certain supplement line, and you don't want to pop it out of your mouth to actually fucking say somebody else's name that might not be associated with it. That's all the fuck that is. And if I offended anybody, good. Fuck you.
Well,
I'm done.
Something I did not expect. I appreciate the support. You know what? Yeah, I mean, but we're on our own little island. That's fine. And, you know, that's fine. I mean, the people who need to know. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's a pretty cool accomplishment. It's been a hell of a ride. It's been fun. I'm glad I finally achieved the goal. And, you know, now we're moving on to bigger and better things. And now
absolutely,
we can focus on, you know, our main mission, which is to help people, you know, reach their goals and to help people lose weight, help people get healthy, and to educate people on what's going on in the world, and hopefully change some minds and turn some heads and make people kind of realize what it is that is important in life. And what's important in life is family. What's important in life is reaching your goals, staying healthy, and not dying. So, you know, I do understand capitalism. And I do understand that some people just they need to make money and they present themselves as something they might not be. I don't know, and it's still early in the week. Who knows what they're going to cover? I think it's pretty relevant. I think, but the thing is, the people who matter are there. Jay Cutler, all of the Olympians, all of the IFBB pros have been very forthright, very welcoming, sending very nice messages, and that's all that matters. There is no, bodybuilding news channels are like news channels. They're all bought and paid for, and there's no indiscriminate or impartial news, and that's fine. I knew that going into this. I don't need their accolades. I don't need their adoration. At the end of the day, we're just here doing cool things, and I did this for myself. I did this for my kids. I did this. When I say my kids, I mean my wrestling team, my biological kids. I did this for my family. I did this for my community, and I did this to show people that even at 41 years old, you can still set goals and you can still achieve them. And something I've been working on for a long time. I took about 8 years off in the process, but I'm really happy with it. I appreciate the words, Alan. And, it was the most amazing experience of my life. Save for obviously my kids winning stuff, my kids being born and my wedding. There was no other feeling in the world than feeling, when I actually got announced as the winner and I knew that I won. I completely won. There was no question that I was the best bodybuilder on that stage.
No, none.
And nobody was mad that I won. Like, they're not like, oh, it was politics. It's like, nope, he brought it. Yeah. He brought it to the point where you could see the water flowing through his kidneys, and it was great. It was great. But the world doesn't stop. We have a lot of stuff going on. Things are getting really crazy because it seems like the government and the people in power are trying to hold on to something that isn't there anymore. Are you noticing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to try to talk in code a little bit to avoid this getting taken down. But the Decepticon variant should be viewed as a gift. It really should. It should be viewed as a gift. It's a natural vaccine almost, because when you look at it, I think there's been one fatality from it in the world so far, and if it's as communicable as what they're saying, it's like 5 times more communicable than Delta, which was 5 times more communicable than OG, which was more communicable than the seasonal flu. That means it's spreading very fucking rapidly, and it's also giving people broad spectrum immunity too. This is not something to be like. I will argue till the cows come home that for healthy young people, especially, you should have never been afraid of the first original OG.
No,
we should have really tried to help people that were at high risk, really protect them, make sure that they were as universally isolated as possible. And I had a lot of people reach out to me, by the way. They were like, well, you can't isolate elderly people because that's bad for them. What I mean is isolate the population. It is in the disaster plan of every long-term care facility, that you isolate the population by closing the doors, basically, and you don't admit anybody that's showing that's symptomatic or anything like that. And especially symptomatic, because asymptomatic spread, again, just so you guys fucking wake up and smell the fucking actual reality of the world, is not an actual thing. It's such a minute thing. We've even had, even the Gremlin has admitted that. The Gremlin, Dr. Fauci, has admitted that asymptomatic spread is not a thing. And in reality, the people that should be working on their health should work on their health. From the very beginning, we should have had people work on their health. It is the most missed opportunity in public health ever.
My daughter had a wrestling tournament this weekend, and she had sniffles. And I'm like, don't go. If you feel sick, don't go. How'd you like if someone wrestled you and was under the weather? You got boogers out of your nose, and now she's fine. So I think it comes down to if you're sick, stay home. But looking at the Transformer variant, can it kill obese people? Being obese can kill obese people. Yeah. Obese people die. There was a comment on one of my YouTube channels, one of our channels. I think it could have been this one. It's I know they're talking about all these people dying, but people fucking die. Yeah. They just do. In some flu seasons, a lot of people die, and some flu seasons, just a couple people die. And that was before the flu just up and disappeared. So I think we need to just understand that mortality is a part of life, and the mortality rates have not gone up significantly enough for us to really care. It sucks when people who die, but I know a lot of people who die every year. As you get older, people start dying more. You notice that?
Oh my God, yeah.
I know every year I have more people that die as I get older because my peers get older. So can this kill obese people? Obese people fucking die. And that's why we work so hard on getting people to not be obese. We don't want people to die. You know who kills people? Fat acceptance. Anybody who is pro-fat acceptance is a murderer and a shill.
Well, I've had people, people get really upset that I don't make the comedy videos about the V-shreds of the world and anything like that anymore. And the thing is, the reality of it is just, to be very blunt, they're rather benign. Like, anybody that's strong enough to actually take bad lifting advice that they give is not stupid enough to take the bad lifting advice that they give. Like, if you're strong enough to hurt yourself with the bad lifting advice that they give, you're not stupid enough. You know enough about lifting to be that strong in order to fucking not hurt yourself. And it's one of those things. I mean, it's funny. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm never going to do comedy about shit like that again. But when you look at the preface of it, the open-faced lie to somebody's face, like, hey, you're fat as fuck, but you're fine, you're pretty, and you're healthy. You know, I'm not saying you're not pretty. People can find, like, that's preference. Find whoever you want pretty, that's fine by me. But there's nothing more savage and mean and ridiculous than telling somebody that is in physical jeopardy that they're fine. Like, I mean, that's why a certain portion of the bodybuilding industry does not like me either, because I've been very open with saying, like, dude, these 300-pound mass monsters are making the choice of shortening their life. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's absolute. You know, like Big Ramy is. I don't like when people, like, all of a sudden are like so shocked. You know, like, because it's a tragedy, but, like, for real, man, if you're choosing to live in the 350-pound range in the off season, you're not going to fucking live long, you know?
Yeah, it's a choice, you know, and they have their health problems. You know, I know things that I can't really say,
right?
You know, because I know things and they're in confidence, but they make a choice, you know, and fat people make a choice, and that's why it's so funny. Hear people say, well, we shouldn't give any hospital treatment to these people who don't get the jab. It's like, wait a second. Hold on. I pay my fucking health insurance. When does the government? So this also showed me now I've changed my mind. So I've said on this podcast many times that I believe in some form of basic health care. Mm-hmm. Not anymore. If those fuckers are going to be like, we're not going to treat you because you don't do you're not taking experimental, ineffective experiment, then no. So I was wrong about the national healthcare thing 100%, because I didn't think government would be that evil, where members of the government, like that fat piece of shit representative from Illinois, would be like, you know what, you could pay into health insurance for your entire fucking life. And then when you actually need to use it, we're not going to treat you because you didn't do what the government told you to do, which is why now I'm completely capitalism. Fuck you. You can't afford health insurance. Fuck you. Because as soon as the government gets involved, that's when they're like, you do this or we're not going to treat you. You come in for a fucking foot injury, but if you don't have this jab that is experimental and, by the way, doesn't fucking work. And let's get back to the Transformer. It's literally a no risk inoculation. Mm-hmm. Zero risk. It's, I think, one death out of millions of people who got it.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's like well, first of all, it's the natural progression, by the way. Normally, the way that these pathogens mutate is to a more communicable, less lethal, because they're trying to find ways to evolutionarily speaking, the pathogen is going to try to find a way to survive. So it's going to just try to keep propagating, and it is endemic. Like, that's another thing too. We need to understand it's absolutely fucking endemic. Now, the weird thing, you were talking about the health insurance, by the way, is nobody else finding it? Like, are you guys not? The people that are watching this right now that are really upset with Mark and I, are listening right now, they're really upset with Mark and I. Are none of you turning on your logic at all? Because why is it so important for there will be a news article that says that they know that the jibby jab is not protecting you against the non-threat of the Decepticon variant. It doesn't protect you from getting it. It doesn't protect anybody from getting any of it. Like, I mean, it's almost like them to push it so hard, it to be the preface of everything. Has nobody just sat in front of any of these politicians or celebrities that are pushing around with that and asked how much they're getting paid? Or ask if they're getting paid, because they have to be at this stage, you know?
There's no way that anybody with a brain can support this. There's no way. It's about power, or it's about tribalism. The only reason somebody who isn't in power would support this is they can be part of the cool kids. You know, oh, well, I got the shot and you don't. Well, fuck you. You're a pussy. You know, like you literally got a shot for something that isn't a risk to most people. That just shows me that you're a bitch. All right. I'm sorry. You're just a bitch. You know, and the people I know who are strong, who got the shots, did it so they could travel. You know, like, fuck it, whatever. And they got it, you know, but they think they're so strong that the side effects won't affect them. And so far, so good. The health people I know who got it. Now, except for my neighbors, like my neighborhood is either really unlucky or just really prone to these side effects. Because I think I said on this podcast the other week, like we have motherfuckers literally. I have one guy who's a contractor who can't use his arm anymore. I have one woman who has this severe scar tissuing vat accumulation in her stomach. And especially women who've had breast implants, I'm seeing phenomenal meaning, oh my fucking God, side effects come because you have two foreign invaders in the body fighting over who's going to invade more. So I'm just looking at this like, holy shit, like my neighborhood's fucked. Like it might kill off my entire fucking neighborhood.
Damn.
And I mean entire, it means like 10% of our neighborhood has actually gotten it. I'm in Tennessee. But the people who've gotten it are fucked. Like I told you about the teenage girl who's had to fly to a different state to get checked. So it turns out she had severe Bell's palsy.
Oh.
Yeah,
like,
she had to use her face. Like this is a healthy young person who would not have gotten Bell's palsy had it not been for this. Yet she induced herself with Bell's palsy for something that has a literally 0% chance of negatively affecting her.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if there was not social media suppression, mainstream media propaganda, and just an out and out push by the federal government to make it seem like everything's super safe and everything's okay. Imagine if equal time were given. Like I don't know about you, dude, but the only people, and I mean the only things I see are people saying how they know somebody that's had an adverse reaction. And again, that could just be like, I'm not saying it couldn't be just like the echo chamber that I live in, but I do a lot of outside research. So do you. And I'm willing to open up and talk to anybody about this. I just posted something on Twitter. That's the MFing COO, by the way. But I just posted something on Twitter where it appears that Dr. Anthony Fauci has some patents about some of this stuff.
Yeah, you said it to me this morning.
Yeah, and I would challenge anybody to argue against it. Like, show me where it's not true, because that's the thing. It is not enough for I am not a lemming. I am not a stupid person. My ADHD will not allow me. Yeah. My ADHD plus my intelligence will not allow me to just be told this is the way it is without me checking shit. My mind will go over it and over it and over it. And when something doesn't make sense, I need to find the data to make it make sense. I need to make it make sense. That has been the hardest thing for the last 2 fucking years, is that I need it to make sense, and none of it fucking has. No, you know, like
it's like you had that one guy. I challenged him to a fight. That dude from the Atlantic, that short, fat motherfucker with the big wrinkly eyes. Like he's like, oh, all these anti-vax shit, blah blah. It's like, dude, like say that to my fucking face. Like you are unhealthy. His skin is unhealthy. Everything about him is unhealthy, and he's going to talk about health to people who actually live health. I'm like, dude, like I'm not a violent person unless I'm in the ring, but I really just want to fucking beat the fuck out of these people. Like I don't know if I saw this guy who tweeted that. I don't know if I'd be able to not beat the living fuck out of him and go to jail. It's like, how dare you fucking say that? How dare you, you fat, wrinkly, fucking old, weak piece of shit. I want to beat your ass and fucking film it so everybody else knows I'm gonna beat their ass too. I'm fucking tired of these people, man. I'm fucking over it. I don't know if it's for social media clout or if they really think this, but the fact that they would put this shit and not see the truth. And I am not people getting this jab. I'm not. No. I'm a bodybuilder. I've injected shit into my body that should not be in there. Okay, I get it. You're like, well, you inject. Yeah, it was at my choice. Look, if you want to get a fucking shot, I don't give a fuck what you put in your body. I don't care. I don't care. But when you start telling me to fucking push into my body, like the pro weed people, man, you don't smoke weed? Well, that's fucking weird. Like, weed's awesome. It cures everything. I'm like, cool, then smoke weed. I don't want to smoke weed. Like, don't tell me what the fuck to put into my body. Like, well,
yeah, it affects. But the thing is, that actually points up a good thing, man. Like, because I used to puff too. I don't anymore because I don't need to. I use mental jewels. I really do, and I use mental jewels from ambrosia to help with my ADHD.
I'm actually very pro marijuana. I just don't use it.
Right, but I tell you this right now: if my wife were to partake, she gets serious. It's like it's almost panic attack paranoid. Like, I mean, and it does not matter. So it's like it affects different people different. I put on on I think it was on both Twitter and TikTok yesterday. Here's what people don't get, and here I truly mean this. Even if it was 100% safe, if it was 100% effective, and if the actual threat of the initial OG vid was 10 times what they tried to scare us with, which would have been 100 times more than what it actually turned out to be, just to be real, I'm still not fucking taking it. You're not going to make me take it. You know, I'd rather work on my health. I am going to die a free motherfucker. I guarantee that shit. I guarantee that 100%. And I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, and I don't know if it's going to happen, 50 or 60 years from now. But I can guarantee you this: I'm not going to be a slave to the fucking government who tells me they'll give me my freedom if I do something certain. That is not freedom. Freedom does not come conditional like that. You don't get freedom by compliance. Like, if you do this, you'll be free. You're not free if you do it. Like, I mean, people need to fucking grasp that situation. You motherfuckers need to realize you are sheep. You are sheep being led. I am going to be a wolf for the rest of my life. Period. I am going to, even if I gotta fucking walk the woods alone, I'll walk the fucking woods alone. I don't need to because I got a fucking strong ass pack of alphas. But I'm telling you, even if I had to, I would, because I'm not going to be somebody's fucking lamb to slaughter. It's not fucking happening.
You know what I hate? I hate that everybody's fucking fake. Jordan Peterson, what a fucking pussy. What a fucking pussy. He's like, oh, Trudeau, I got both vaccinations and you won't let me. Won't let you. Like, your entire, like, Cernovic posted, bro. Cernovic posted my guy. He's like, your entire brand is based on fighting tyranny. And this guy literally was like, I got double vaccinated. You won't let me do so. Won't let you. You fucking skinny little pussy. Jordan Peterson is a fucking grifter. These fucking guys do not practice what they preach. I practice what I preach. Alan practices what I preach. Hey, you know what? We didn't just go online and say, hey, guys, in March 2020, we weren't like, hey, guys, there's this thing going around and you got to get lean. And we didn't say that while eating fucking Doritos sitting on our fucking porch. We went out and downsized and got lean as fuck. All right, we went on exercise. We got sunlight. I created supplements for the situation. I got shadow banned on YouTube for talking about vitamin D. And this,
our entire new endeavor is because of this.
Carnivore diet eating bitch.
Yeah.
This little skinny carnivore diet eating bitch is like, well, I'm going to go get a shot because the government told me to. Everybody's fake. That's the problem. All of your fucking thought leaders are fucking pussies. They are fucking spineless pussies, except for Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan just doesn't give a fuck. Joe Rogan has so much money that God asked him for a loan. Like, Joe Rogan doesn't give a fuck. He's in that position. And the thing is, I'm not Joe Rogan, but I have enough money to not give a fuck too. And here's the problem. Even if I didn't have money, I still wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, even if you were me.
Hey, dude. Hey, your time's coming, bro. Fuck with my freedom. Fuck with my freedom. I will die. But the more people realize I didn't grow up in Brentwood fucking. I went from Inglewood to Brentwood. Don't tell me about fucking silver spoons. I am not afraid to be broke again. Doesn't fucking scare. I don't want my kids to be broke. Being broke was actually kind of okay. I was fine. I made do. But don't fucking preach something and do something else. And that's the problem with all these false idols and these Jordan Petersons and these fucking pussies. Like, yeah, I call Jordan Peterson a pussy. He speaks while he says some really cool. Oh, he said this. I don't give a fuck what someone says. You know who's the best speaker of all time, Alan? Best speaker of all time. Go. Who's the best speaker of all time?
Best speaker of all time?
Adolf Hitler.
Oh, yeah.
Hitler was the greatest speaker of all time. He literally motivated an entire country to try and kill an entire fucking race of people. Genocide. He was an amazing speaker, but he's still an asshole.
Fuck yeah.
Jordan Peterson is an amazing speaker, but you know what? when push comes to shove, he's small, he's weak, he doesn't even fucking lift. He's just a fucking grifter. Sorry, you Jordan Peterson fans who have his little book, that skinny little bitch. At the end of the day, he's a piece of shit. They're all pieces of shit. All of these people are fucking weak and they're fucking posers. And I want leaders who actually do what they fucking say they're going to do. Thomas Massey, that motherfucker's building solar generators. Like Thomas Massey, fucking MGT. Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene? She fucking wished me. She literally congratulated me for winning my pro card. Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care if you agree with her or not. That is a fit, strong fucking woman that I wouldn't mind my daughter taking after.
But that you just pointed out something though. Go ahead, finish.
I don't need to agree with someone to think they're fucking awesome.
That's it. That's the shit I was about to say. Like you brought up Rogan. I don't agree with everything Rogan says. I absolutely don't. I love listening to him though, because I like being able to think. I get it on every social media platform, and I've gotten this more in the last 2 years than even ever before. I used to like you, but then you said this. Then you didn't fucking like me. You liked what I was fucking saying and how I fucking say it. And I don't give a fuck if you like me. Like, that's the thing. You don't need to fucking like me. If you don't like what I say, feel free to try to factually refute it. I'm down. But you don't need to like me. If you don't like me, unfucking follow. If anybody thinks that Mark and I have tried to be fucking popular, have put effort into popularity in the last 2 fucking years, you are delusional. I could have easily just we could have easily just made our fucking normal ass videos, offered some entertainment and distraction, and, boom, and fucking goddamn, and all that bullshit. Boom, damn, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We could have done whatever the fuck we wanted and try to just keep popularity and build popularity, especially when they were absolutely rewarding certain content. We could have sold the fuck out anytime we fucking wanted, but we didn't. People like Jordan Peterson, for saying that shit, he lost me a little bit when he even talked about how he got vaccinated and this and that, and it should, that means it should be over. Now I got a mask. These people, when you comply to get your freedom, it shows a serious flaw in your critical thinking, because freedom is what you have. People don't give you freedom. You have it. People oppress it. People try to rob it from you. You have freedom. You're born with freedom. You are a free fucking person when you are born. The problem is people suppress it.
They're fucking grifters, dude. I'm fucking tired of it, and they're being exposed. Look, if Jordan Peterson legit thought the vaccine was awesome, then I support him taking it. But he took it to get his freedom. That means he's a simp-ass bitch. Sorry, Jordan Peterson, you're a fucking bitch. You are a piece of fucking shit. You're a manipulative, fucking greedy piece of shit who sells people on this fake-ass narrative because you are fake. You are fake, and you're small. Fucking lift a fucking weight, you frail bitch.
That's another thing too. Like, at some point in time, if it's been the responsibility of everybody else for the last 2 fucking years to do whatever and social distance, I live social distancing, dude. I don't like crowds. I don't like being around fucking people. I absolutely don't like that shit. So I'll gladly live social distancing. It'll just be me and my close circle that will get in within 6 feet of me, and I'm fucking straight. Fuck all you motherfuckers. But for real, if that's my responsibility. And this would make it a little better. If you even want to dare tell me the responsibility when it comes to other people's health, when are we going to talk about the American responsibility, the responsibility of every American citizen to not be a fat fuck? When are we going to talk about that type of responsibility? Because that to me is responsibility. If you want us to we have shared healthcare costs, we have shared, we share the hospital industry, because it is absolutely an industry. When we share all this shit, we share hospital resources, we share healthcare costs, and now we're going to share, in some way, the level of oppression of our freedom is how I'm going to start referring to it. If we share the level of oppression of our freedom based off of the health of everybody, when is it going to be seen as the American responsibility for people to be fucking healthy? When? Because I want to know, because we don't even need to have another portion of conversation about what fucking restrictions are needed to guard against the fucking next Megatron or Amazord or the Megalord fucking variant that's about to come out when they get the Super Saiyan or whatever fucking variant. Before we even discuss that shit, we need to discuss the actual responsibility of you people not does nobody feel responsible for what they're doing to type 1 diabetics when it comes to how many type 2 diabetics there are? You people make it so people that are born literally, that are born type 1 diabetic, they can do nothing else by it, can almost not support to pay them, support to live, because it is so expensive due to the high demand of insulin to fucking live. It's like $1,600 a goddamn month for fucking insulin for people. That's insane. Fucking sane. When it shouldn't be. And I tell you this, if this was about your health, insulin would be free too, motherfuckers, instead of the fucking jibby jab.
Dude, insulin should be free. If we're
it should be
it for free. Well, we're not giving it for free. The government's paying for it out of our money and taxes. It's basically redistribution of poison, not wealth. Redistribution of poison. It's crazy to look at this and to look at everything going on. To get to this, we think of bodybuilders are rebels and heroes. Most fitness people. Oh no! You haven't been to one of our events.
Yeah, not one of our events.
Dude, Jay Cutler had an issue. Like, he didn't want to wear a mask to fly here, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'll do it for the event." You know, bodybuilders. You know what? We at the end of the day, man, we know that our bodies and our health are our personal responsibility. So most of the people I know are based, whether they're, whatever color, creed, or whatever they are, they're like, fuck it. Now might be some are like, okay, I'll put my mask on. I just want to be left alone. For the most part, the industry is pretty like, fuck you. And that's why we had events. Like we had I think it was July of 2020, in the height of everything, we packed Carbon Culture with like more people than could fit in there, and had an NPC seminar. So I mean, and it was packed, and there wasn't one mask in that gym. So I disagree with you on that. I think there are some, but I think population wise, way less of the bodybuilding community is woke, so to speak. Yeah,
it's almost impossible to be, because like, to a certain degree, wokeness is much less about saying, you're going to love me for how I am, look at me, no matter what state there is, than actually working on oneself. I mean, that's how I view it. And if I'm wrong, I don't give a fuck if you think I'm wrong. Like, that's what they're showing me, You're
correct. It's like, oh, well, I identify as this. So, okay. Well, in bodybuilding, we okay, here's what we identify as. I don't give a fuck what you think.
I'm only going to identify people as born with penis and born with vagina from now on.
Yeah, you know what? That's pretty much two things. How about that that person from Penn, the university, breaking all the women's swimming records when literally she has an udder in the water with her penis. Like, what are your thoughts on that, Alan?
I mean, it's just the person competed on the same team not on the same team, but at the same school as a male, like, in their college career. And like, especially, because here's my thing, I give a little bit more credence to the people that are willing to lop it off. We
talked about this. So we went to Lifetime Fitness on Sunday after the show, and I tried to work out. And it was a bad choice because my water was off. I did my second set of leg curls. My hamstring locked up, and I rolled off the bench. Rolled off the bench, and so I did some leg pressing. So we went and we're in the sauna. We were talking to a couple guys. One of the guys from he actually joined us. We met him on Twitter, and we were talking about it. And it's like, and Matt, Matt Stevens, one of us. He's like, man, I don't know. I'm like, dude, but if you cut off your dick, like, that is commitment. Like, cutting off your I don't know. I think that I'm almost at a level where it's like, if you're willing to mutilate your body and cut off your dick, I can make an exception, because that's commitment, and there can't be anything that hurts worse than cutting off your dick.
Now, the thing is, though, I still would argue against physical competition for that. You know what I mean?
I can see that argument. You're talking about cutting off a dick.
Oh, dude, trust me, I'm with you there. But like, it's still the argument that, like, you're the one that even turned me on to this. There are biological, physiological differences. Period. Yeah. Like, I mean, like,
I get that, but like, that's the ultimate sacrifice. Like, when you're born as a male, like, there's two things that you inherently love. One is you love your mom when you're born, and two is that throughout your life your penis will be your best friend. And when you stop having it, when you lop it out, like, imagine, I'd
rather not.
You go to sleep and you wake up and there's no dick, and you're like, oh my God, I have no penis. And that'd be the most devastating thing in my life. Like, I know one time my doctor prescribed me Deca, because my joints were hurting, and he thought it would be good for anti-aging and this and that. I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. So the ratio was off, and it affects people differently. And I was literally mid-sex, and my boner went away. I got what they call Deca dick. And so I'm like, what the fuck? It was like, it went up, but then it caved. Never happened before. And I'm like, and I was with my wife. So I was like, I'm embarrassed. And I know this woman, like she's seen me at my best performance and my worst. And I'm like, dude, just that was mortifying. Called my doctor the next day. He's like, oh, you got Deca dick. I'm like, this is a thing. I'm like, you didn't tell me this was a possibility. He's like, yeah, it doesn't happen to everybody. I'm like, yeah, but I wouldn't have taken.
That's definitely not informed consent. That's for fucking sure.
But I mean, he's like, yeah, but how are your joints? I'm like, I don't give a fuck if my joints feel like someone's fucking stabbing me. The minute I lose an erection mid pump, I'm gone. You lost my
I'm out.
And but imagine, like, that was mortifying. Just imagine, like, you have no penis after you had one. Like, I can imagine, like, and then you have this man-made vagina, which I'm not sure how they look. I'm sure they do a great job. But then you have like this concave like vagina type object, and your tip of your penis is now suddenly turned into your clitoris. Like, that would be fucking weird. Like, that's commitment.
That is commitment. It still doesn't mean that they should compete, but it is commitment. And like I said, I do give them some extra credit for it, but like at the same time, their physical capabilities are drastically. Even Blair White has some advantage that a woman doesn't have. Okay. Her Joe Rogan interview was awesome too. I tell you what, Rogan's been fucking killing it. The one he did the other day with the doctor.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh. So Joe's gone completely anti-woke. Joe is, and I think it's mostly marketing, but I don't care. Joe has found that his audience is people like us. It's people like us. And here's just get back to Blair. I need to say this. I'm friends with Blair, like online friends. And I can say, look, I'll say it, dude. Like, I just got through doing an interview about how good the people I beat looked. Like, I'll tell you if a girl looks good, if a guy looks good. I don't care. I'm married. I only sleep with my wife. Blair White is hot as fuck. Like, I don't care.
Gorgeous woman.
What a beautiful person, inside and out. Just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful person. I mean, beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, and that's cool. But like you said, like, Blair shouldn't be playing professional soccer.
No, absolutely not. That's the thing. Like, I think that's the thing that people misunderstand about based. The second you refuse to like placate every little bit of possible like hissy fit from woke people, I think that they like automatically paint you as some sort of bigot or something like that. Blair White looks like a woman, a pretty woman.
Sex, so fucking sexy. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, my good friend, not this Jessica, but Jessica, you're very attractive as well. Like, I got a message from a person I know locally. She's Jessica, and she actually had a heart attack, believe it or not from the jab, but she just had some congenital things, right? And she's like, I'm so inspired. I'm making my comeback. I'm gonna become a pro. And I wrote back, I'm like, I'm like, you're gorgeous. Like, you have a great body. You have everything going for you. And it wasn't sexual. It was just like, I can call somebody gorgeous. So like, and that's a biological woman. Okay. So, but I'm again, like, I'm in a monogamous marriage. So if anybody can call anybody gorgeous and it not be in the least bit creepy, it's me, because I'm not sleeping with anybody who's not my wife. You know what I mean? So if I call you gorgeous, if I'm like, well, that's a beautiful person, I can do that objectively. And that's another thing bodybuilding does. I'm in a sport where I can look at a guy's ass and say, that is one good looking chiseled ass, and we can do that. And it trips people out when we do that. Bodybuilding is the only sport, that and probably pageantry, which are very similar, where you can say, God, look at the ass on that guy. And nobody's like, oh, you're gay. No.
Some people do still. Like some people do.
You can appreciate the human physique. I do. Yeah. I mean, Jose would get so excited when I was posing. He's like, oh my God, look at your lower back came in, your fucking chest. Oh my God, your glutes. Like, he's not gay. Jose is. If you hang out with Jose, you'll realize he's the straightest man you'll ever meet. Like, the guy, he notices like, oh, did you see her? I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, I noticed that. I don't notice anybody. I'm like, he's like, you gotta look at that. You gotta look at that. I'm like, okay.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, like, there's a big difference between Like Blair White, like she looks like a woman, I would call her a her, you know? Like if you make me guess, I'm going to guess. If you make me guess and I guess wrong for what you want, that's on you. That's not on me. Like there was a recent video, some dude put it really well. Like you have failed in your appropriation of what that gender looks like to me. You know, like, and the thing is, I don't think anybody does this shit to be mean to people. I really don't. Like I don't think, I think it's portrayed that way, but I just don't think it's done to be mean. Like I just think it's like, you know, stop thought policing me. like stop telling me what I need to call you. Like the they shit. Like there's not two of you there. You know, like I get it, but at the same time,
they is the dumbest, most misappropriation of the English language I've ever seen in my life. They is just they just doesn't make sense. I don't know who that's gonna, you know, who would be offended by being an individual and not a multiple personality person. Look, man, I love people, and I have I do have, and a lot of people lie. I have transgender friends because the fitness community is full of everybody, and everybody wants to get into shape, and it doesn't matter if you have a penis, a vagina, or both. We don't give a shit. So I actually had a young black used to be a man and converted to a woman. Is it converted the right word? Transitioned, and and we forged a great friendship. And I have a few people that comment on my Instagram that you would never guess that are transgender. And the reason that we get along is that I don't fucking care. Are you a good person? That's all I care about. Are you a good person? Look, man, and I like I said, my neighbors, my business partners, a lot of them, like everybody's like, oh, you're anti jab. I'm like, no, I'm anti you telling me to get it. I don't give a fuck what. I don't care. I don't care if you walk around with anal beads in all day. I don't care. Like, are you a good person? Those anal beads make you happy. If the jab makes you feel comforted, if it makes you feel safe, by all means do it. It's when you start enforcing your ideals on someone else. Look, man, I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to be Jewish. But you don't see me going, hey, Alan, I really think you should fucking follow Moses, asshole. No, I don't care if Alan believes in fucking Satan. You know, are you a good person? Obviously, Satanists probably aren't good people, but I've known people who are pagans who are fucking amazing. So I'm like, you know what? I just kind of live and let live. And I love people. I fucking love people. I love people, and I hate tyrants. I hate Fauci. I hate Chuck Schumer. I hate Nancy Pelosi. I hate that McDonald guy, that fucking asshole.
Yeah. We were in that realm of talk. If you guys haven't, if you're listening and you have not watched Rogan, the Rogan podcast with Dr. Peter McCullough, you should. Like, that should have been the telltale sign for everybody, by the way, is when we started dismissing scientists. Yeah. When we started dismissing their words, like there's a scientist, and everybody can look him up. His name's Dr. John Ioannidis. Ioannidis is sometimes it's pronounced. He's a population scientist, like a population health scientist. He's the most cited scientist in the world right now, like in the world. And you cannot share his shit on YouTube. You know, his initial study on the estimated infection fatality rate of the beer flu is on the World Health Organization, but you can't talk about him. Like, there's an issue with that, you know? And like this.
Why do you think do you think it's economical, or do you think it's power? Do you think it's both?
I think it's both. I think there's a lot of money being exchanged. I find it impossible to believe that there is not some sort of, like, these people, like, to ignore natural immunity the way it's being ignored, like this. Anybody, like, the argument that I'm finding, like, you can't claim this is about your health. We ignore natural immunity. We ignore trying to get people healthy. We encourage people to be inside, to wear filthy cloth on their face, to not get exercise. We close all gym. Like, if they would have closed gyms and been like, but it is very important for you to get outside and get some activity or get some physical activity in your house. If they would have said, you know, for all we know right now, we're trying to slow the spread, so wear this cloth on your face. Here is how you do it safely. Like, if they would have done that shit, fine. But, like, it has been all about driving up the fear, and then all of a sudden, like, it's just like no exception at all. Like, there's no religious exemptions. They're trying to coerce people by not, like, in Canada right now, there's an area in Canada that you can't buy groceries if you're not, like, they're not going to give you food. They're not going to allow you to buy food if you haven't taken this. It's not about health. It's about control and tyranny. I mean, people need to get there, like really quickly. If people did not have guns in America, we would be Australia. Bet your fucking ass right now.
So I've been to Canada, and I actually have a friend who is a conservative who took a job in Canada. And I mean, this is not by any means trying to slight Canada, but they're kind of pussies. They kind of go with the flow. They're like, it's all right, eh? It's like America has a different vibe, a lot of America, and you could see which America has a different vibe. Like in the South, we haven't, like, our lives are normal. I'm going to be in a gym packed full of kids with arm distance apart. I'm going to have 70 kids in a small weight room, and nobody cares. My wife went to a wrestling tournament this weekend while I was out, and nobody cared. And there's people wall to wall. This weekend, I was at a bodybuilding show backstage. They had us packed in there like sardines, scantily clad as well. So just the Arizona based, okay, Tennessee based, Florida based. Yeah, you go to California, you go to Massachusetts, you go to any of the other states, they're still living like people are contagious and just horrible people. But here's the problem, is that the numbers show that what they're doing either isn't working or is working to the opposite of where they want it to work. We've actually shown that Florida, Tennessee, Georgia, the states that have the most lax rules in regards to this pandemic are actually doing the best. And we aren't destroying our kids' childhoods, and we aren't destroying our economy, and we're not destroying our state because we refuse to live life based on fear. And unfortunately, it's a clear divide between the southern states and the northern states. And we know what happened the last time that happened.
And I'm thinking that the outcome would be radically different. I really do. I think that the outcome would be different.
We have the guns, and we also have, we have the guns. I mean, that's it. We have guns.
This one person put everybody says to stop talking politics and about the sickness and just go about your day. I'm sorry, but and I agree. Like, how can't you? Because I got to be real. Like, that's the thing I found disappointing in a lot of people you and I know, is that you can't avoid it forever, people. Like, I mean, I get you may wanna, but they're gonna make you take a side. Like, if you try to pander to the horde, they're going to make you pledge allegiance to them. I don't want your allegiance. I want you to want your freedom. And if you don't, join them. But you don't need to join me. I don't need you to join me. I've got my own tribe. I don't need you to join me. But we need people to stand the fuck up, because they're gonna, at this stage, the lines are already drawn. Just a bunch of people are trying to fucking dance, on both sides,
Yeah, I chose teams, and I'm very open and honest, and I just don't care. And if that costs me my job, if that costs me my job, but my extra jobs, if that costs me whatever, it's worth it, because I'm on the side of history that's righteous. I'm on the side of history that's pro freedom, and that's dude, we have kids who started school during the pandemic who have no idea what it's like to interact with their friends without a mask on.
It's insane.
It's child abuse. It's child endangerment, because every time that kid puts a mask on, they're risking a bacterial infection for something that does nothing to them. Does nothing to them. And I see these poor kids, and their parents make them wear it, that go into schools, because our school is mask optional, meaning that you can wear it, but you don't have to. And there's still probably 2-3% of the kids who are wearing these masks. And you just know that their parents are just fucking pieces of shit. Yes, I said it. If you make your kid wear a mask, you are a piece of shit.
You are a piece of shit. I agree. It's abuse.
You're a piece of shit. You're ignorant. You're stupid. And you don't belong on this planet with those of us with brains.
Yeah, I agree. The thing about it is, that people need to understand, I still, and me and you pointed this out a long time ago, if we had a brick and mortar building, you would not be allowed to enter that motherfucker with a mask on, just for security alone. I can't even get there.
I said this to Matt Stevens. We were walking around Arizona. Between shows, we went to this beautiful downtown Scottsdale quarter. If you guys from Arizona, It is gorgeous. They have this little courtyard. They had Santa there. It was amazing. It was amazing. But anyway, I remember I'm walking down. We're walking with our coffee from Press Coffee Shop, which, by the way, amazing people, amazing coffee. Everybody's amazing when you're in a pro card, right? I could have someone punch me in the face. I'd be like, damn, that was a great punch. I'm in such a good mood. But the thing is, my energy levels, I know I'm going ADHD here. My energy levels, like last night, I wanted to do some cardio while my daughter was at practice. So I brought my dog, and I literally had to pipe talk myself because I fell asleep in the car. Like, I'm all over the place because my daughter drove, and when I'm in the passenger seat, I get tired. And she drives much better than when she drove us and almost killed us, Alan. If you remember that, yeah, you remember that.
Oh, I remember that, dude.
I'm gonna die. Of course, it's the biggest fucking truck coming at us, a Dodge Ram. But anyway, so we're walking. I'm like, Matt, you know what's funny? In January 2020, if I would have gone into the bank in a liberal state with a mask on, they would have tackled me and tased me.
Oh yeah.
If I don't wear a mask now, they will tackle me and tase me and pepper spray me. Like, since when does covering your face when is that not a security issue? Because you can't pick them up on cameras. You're concealing your identity. Generally speaking, when I grew up, if someone was wearing a mask, you were scared of them. Now, you walk in the airport, and I swear to God, I'm looking around with Matt. We're the only two without our masks on. And I'm like, why don't these people like go, hey, this is weird? And so we got on the shuttle to the car. The guy told us to put our mask on. I'm like, whatever. So I put it around my chin. We walk out. It's this old Greek guy. He had to be like fucking 80 years old. He goes, well, you take off your mask. I just fucking made fun of him a little bit. I'm like, because they don't fucking work. I'm like, it's like, it's their way of exerting control over us. This guy drives a shuttle for a living, and he has an opportunity to tell me what to do. So I told him to fuck off.
That's exactly it.
I don't care if you're 90 years old. If you tell me what to fucking do, I'm going to tell you to fuck yourself. I'm equal opportunity. Don't tell me what to do.
Equal opportunity telling you to fuck off. I like it. No shit.
I'm not a racist.
Let's see. I asked my parents why they were making their kids wear a face diaper. They need to. It's, we've abused kids in a lot of ways. Them wearing masks is almost like, it's horrible, but we have parents that are proudly injecting their children with this shit for something that is not like, the data shows it's more dangerous than the actual beer flu, especially now that the beer flu has become a Decepticon. And I would like for us to revisit this very conversation with Decepticons and beer flus several years from now, just to hear how ridiculous this shit sounds, so we don't get fucking shut down on fucking social media. Like, I mean, it's, as a newsflash, people, this is my same shit with like political correctness, right?
Yeah.
You're not changing anybody's mind. Like me pretending to use verbiage or language is not changing my mind. You know, it does not change anybody's mind. If anything, it ingrains that. It's like when I am all for complete freedom of speech on every platform.
Yes.
Complete.
I don't care what the fuck is hate speech? Like, hate speech is speech. I don't care if someone calls me a dirty kike Jew. That's your right to use whatever words you want. Now, you might get punched in the face.
Now, the thing is, though, dude, as your friend, I would prefer hearing somebody refer to you that way, so I know what I fucking actually think about that motherfucker. I would, so that way I know to dislike them. But when people are, are persuaded to lie about their feelings to your face, then I don't know. Then we get into this whole disingenuous bullshit. You know, like, if somebody's going to use the N-word, I want to know. That way I know that motherfucker's racist and I don't need to fucking be around him. If somebody's going to call you the shit you said, I want to know. I'm
going to punch him in the face. I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, there comes a time when violence is the answer. If you use the N-word, I'm going to hit you in the face.
Right.
It is like Biden gets away with it somehow. You know, that's why I know these liberals are fake. Like, what the fuck? You let him like get away with that? Like, come the fuck on. Like, nobody uses the N and then EGRO. Like, that word is just as bad as the N-word now. Unless you're speaking Spanish and you're calling something black. It's just not, it's an old slave word. It just fucking is. and you don't fucking use that. And that's why I know these fucking social rights, they're social whatever, social justice, they're all fake. And they're just, and I'm going back to Jordan Peterson.
He's fake.
Jordan Peterson is a piece of shit. I used to be okay with him. See, the thing is, everybody was fucking like, did you listen to this guy's podcast? Did you listen to this podcast? And I listened to one, and he had words coming out of his mouth, and I don't want to sound like that guy who judges people based on appearance. But I looked at this frail little bitch with curly hair and his fucking little fucking feminine voice, and I'm like, this guy's fucking fake. And he's smart, he has the PhD, but this is a guy who doesn't believe what he's saying. So I never got into the Jordan B. Peterson shit, but he says some really fucking inspirational shit. But here's the thing, like I said, so did Hitler. And because of Hitler, I have no family on my mother's side. So just because you can speak doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit. Jordan Peterson is a piece of shit.
Exactly. You know, the thing about shit like that is, like, somebody just put that the one you put up is that a bunch of NFL players are out with the Megatron virus. Sure. The Megatron virus, if they would, like, my thing is, are they symptomatic? Because if they're not symptomatic, they shouldn't be out, because they're not contagious if they're not symptomatic. If it's just like because of this mass testing, that was the dumbest. That's another thing that told me it was stupid as fuck. Why are we testing people that aren't sick? What good does that have? If you are not symptomatic, you should not be tested. Now it's a little different nowadays because if they have the beer jab, if they have the jab, the inoculation, they could have been symptomatic and not because they got the jab, which makes them like, it's just, that's how it got fucked up. Natural immunity is always going to be the best way. That's why I'm much bigger into supplements than I am into pharmaceuticals. Supplements are based on Ayurvedic medicine, you know? Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I had it twice based on my antibodies. So I had the OG beer flu. And then I had Delta. Delta, I thought I had a leg day because my antibodies are strong as fuck. But the first one I felt, I lost my voice and I was lethargic. Now, I'm not saying I felt like I moved in the process. I know, like, at that time we didn't have tests for it, right? So I moved and everything, and it was during my move. And I remember just going to hit the heavy bag, and I at that time I go for 20 rounds, and I went for like 3 minutes. And I was like, fuck, my lungs are going to blow up. So, look, the original one was fucking legit. Like, it was a flu. It was a bad flu for me. Obviously, for some people, it was worse or better. For me, it was like I lost my voice and my lungs weren't bad. I just, I was less in shape than I was before I got it. Now, the second time I got it, didn't know I had it. So, and again, it was the different variant. But and it was a year later. So yeah, I fucking got, you can get a year. That's about how long that fucking shit lasts. So are a lot of IFBB athletes inoculated? Not really, no. If you go by the sampling I know, I would say maybe 5%. But the international ones in Europe and the Canadians, they are. And they're the ones who are in Europe. We've had an issue with bodybuilders. We hear about the bodybuilders we know, like Rodin, and I'm going to do, and actually, I talked to some people. Actually, I've completely changed my tune on why they died. I could say that in a second. Then we'll probably keep this under an hour and 20. But so because we could talk all day. I have a lot to say. Yeah. So in Europe, a lot of the people who end up passing away, they did have the inoculation, and we don't hear about them. We just hear about Rodin and these guys and whatever. So basically what my new theory is on why, and it goes back to what Alan said earlier about Big Ramy. So who's dying? Which bodybuilders are dying? The ones who competed in the mass era when Ronnie and Dorian used to get up to 300 something pounds in the off season eating KFC. What we're seeing is people who lived life very, very unhealthy despite being pro bodybuilders at the time, getting up to huge, enormous amount of weights in the mass monster era. What we're seeing is their body's basically saying, all right, it's been enough time to go. Because your heart, I look at your heart like a transmission. Like, you're probably not going to get over 200,000 miles on a transmission, not that kind of tranny. you're not going to get over 200,000 miles. So basically, they run their hearts so hard when they're competing, getting so big, taking so many drugs that it's just their fucking time. And the guys dying competing in that era and got to that size because a lot of the guys didn't have the shot. They just fucking died. Why? Because they're elite athletes who did crazy shit, who taxed their bodies. And unfortunately, in life, people die.
Yep. That's the biggest thing. Like people don't understand, like, especially for some of these athletes, especially the larger guys, I get it. All the soccer players just dropping out, like, and shit like that. That's a different fucking story. That trade from the other day.
That's not good at all. And it's definitely something that is not normal.
Yeah.
I don't know
what he's talking about.
Well, I don't know what's causing the soccer players. It could be something completely unrelated. We don't know. But that's the problem that I say every podcast. We don't know the long-term effects. We just don't fucking know. We're guessing. I'm like Alan and I are guessing on the negatives, and the other people are guessing on the positives. And that's the problem. That's why we should all be like, the one common agreement should be that we shouldn't have to wait 75 years for data.
Fuck no. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I would say this, that like, while I'm guessing, I'd gladly debate it. That's what I want. I want to debate it out. Like I want to, we should, actual science is the debate of the data. It is not, I am science, questioning me is against science. There's nothing that's against science. The only thing against science is poor data. The discussion of data is actual science. That's what people, I mean, for the gremlin to still be in his position is an abomination against the people of America. Like, it absolutely is.
No human being is science.
No.
Cocky, egotistical shithead. I want to punch him in the face too.
For him, like, for people not to be questioning it and him is a problem, especially when you have people like, Dr. McCullough, Dr. Johnny Unitas, like world-renowned scientists who are raising the alarm, like, we've handled this incorrectly. Like, people pointing out that this guy mishandled the HIV pandemic and stuff like that. Like, it's a real fucking thing. Like, people should check it out. I mean, again, I'm going to point out before we got to go, I'm going to point out that, like, this man does hold, like, from what I've seen, holds patents on certain things when it comes to the HIV virus and stuff like that. I do not know how this man is able to get patents from research he does while being paid by the American people. Like, I mean, like, I don't understand how that is even possible. That stuff should like, it's a conflict of interest. It's the same thing, by the way, as the CDC taking funding from Pfizer. And people that don't realize that the CDC is funded by a lot of corporations. They get funds from Coca-Cola, they get funds from Pfizer, they get funds from Meritech, they get funds from Merck, they get funds from Bionutrition, they get funds from Nora Novak. Nora Novix is, they fund both the CDC and the FDA, and they shockingly just got approval for that fucking ridiculous weight loss drug. Like, if they're corporate funded, they should not, they can pick one. You are either going to be an entity that can be corporate funded and not have any authority over the people, or not be governed by like a government agency, or you could be a government agency, which means you, like, everything you say, everything you do should not be in any way held from the people. It should be informed consent. We should know exactly what the fuck is said. We should be able to find every fucking email, every fucking piece of data. We should have access to it immediately. Like, it is, we paid for that shit. That's why we paid for that shit. Like, the debt that's accrued to our name.
Our kids won't be alive in 75 fucking years.
Yeah.
75 years. The average life expectancy is 72. 75 years. The average life expectancy of a black man is 62. 75 years to find out what's going on now. That shit should be real time, like my YouTube view clicker.
Yeah, it should be real time. And we paid for it. we paid for it, like.
So I just want to, before we go, I want to let everybody know that we will usually have a third person on board here, and his name is Matt Stevens. He brings, you guys saw him the other day, whole new perspective. He's very based. He's very smart, very intelligent. He's jacked. So So we have he's really fun to have around. When he can't make it, obviously Alan and myself will be here, but we'll probably end up doing one. I leave town Friday. Hopefully Thursday we can set one up. If not, we will see you guys next week. Lots to discuss. And again, go to the comment section down below. Let us know what you want to hear from us. Let us know what you like about this, what you don't like about it. And we might tell you to fuck off, but we also might tell you that this is different than my personal channel is much more it's different because that's my bodybuilding. This is my political channel with Alan. It's where we discuss things, we get hyped up. So it's a different audience. And it's, even though we're the same people, we present things differently. I never touch politics on Instagram. See, I have to, because of what I do, I was told by certain retailers and things that I could pretty much be me on Twitter, but on Instagram, I got to stay vanilla. Right. And also, I don't get followed on Twitter much by my let's say parents and stuff, but I do get followed on Instagram. And kids don't use Twitter; they use Instagram. Right. And YouTube wise, Gainzcast is a separate channel, so we're able to have fun here, vent a little bit. It's kind of like therapy, but you're not going to see me on my YouTube channel going off about this shit, but you're going to see me on the Gainzcast YouTube channel, and that's why it's fun.
Yeah, I hear it. And I'm the same thing. I'm keeping the actual YouTube channel. I'm trying to just be weight loss based, fitness related. I'm trying to stay away from stuff. I do I'll talk politics here and Twitter and also on TikTok, on the TikTok. Yeah, but and Instagram, Instagram, it does not matter. They're not going to let me. They're not going to. I am so perma shadow banned on Instagram. It's ridiculous. So.
Instagram does that. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This will be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, all that good stuff, and of course YouTube. Hopefully we get enough subscribers. If you're not subscribe. We can actually monetize this shit and get paid.
That'd be awesome. So, all right, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, peace out, everybody.
Bye.